with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the midst of a winning streak and the bye week following the next game, Marcus Freeman and the boys in green this week find themselves facing its toughest challenge yet since the opening week. Needing a win with the first set of rankings rapidly approaching, the Fighting Irish look to take on and defeat its most impressive foe yet. Want to find out who it is and how they performed? Stay tuned to Talk Like a Champion. Irish Nation. Thank you once again for joining us on another edition of Talk Like a Champion. Of course, I am the one and only Mr. CeeLo here. Thanking you so much again. Don't have any announcements to make just yet. This has been a quiet week as far as comments go, but you guys have been out there. Just want to give you guys a lot of love. As you guys may or may not know, the rain that the Fighting Irish had to face Saturday in South Bend were remnants of a tropical storm / hurricane that hit my area. So before we get started today, you guys, please hold the people in Georgia and Florida and even South Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee in your prayers as this terrible storm came through and it wiped out and took the lives of quite a few people in these states. So may your prayers be there. And those that are watching from those several states, thank you so much for watching. And I hope your loved ones are safe and the damage was very minimal if you had any. And if not, my hopes and prayers are out to you. But thank you so much for watching. I'm glad all of you and your family are safe. But most of us found a way, if we weren't affected horribly by this tragic storm. I managed to be fortunate enough to be able to watch this game, and I had mixed emotions on this game, you guys. And the reality of it is, I still don't know what to make of Riley Leonard's passing ability. First things first, we ended up winning the game 31-24. In my opinion, this game was not nearly as close as the score indicated. Louisville scored 10 in the fourth quarter, made it interesting, and Notre Dame put a junk touchdown on the board later in the game. But what really bothered me about this game is that Notre Dame scored 24 points in the first half, and all we mustered up was 7 in the second half. So I think that's very concerning. I know a lot of people are going to look at that and say, because I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook that said, you would think that we would have lost the way you guys are acting. I think a lot of people in Notre Dame, Irish Nation, I think a lot of people in Irish Nation understand if you're going to beat the Alabamas, the Miamis, and the Texas team, you're not going to just walk in there and knock on the door. You're not going to walk in there and knock on the door and they're just going to say, excuse me, I want you to pull the upset tonight. That's not going to happen. Now, before we get into the depth of everything, I want you guys to know I'm very proud of our guys. But the truth of the matter is, this ain't going to win the playoffs. It's not going to win it. And Eric Parsegian told Rudy in the movie Rudy, what did he tell him, you guys? Every year we're competing for the national championship. Now, I would challenge Marcus Freeman to understand one thing. Throwing the ball down the field is how you challenge for a national championship today. Today. If Alabama and Georgia didn't teach you anything, the one thing you can walk away with that is saying that Riley Leonard better be able to throw it down the field. Denbrock knows it. He was at LSU, so he knows. Marcus, you're going to have to trust him, or we won't win a national championship. But let's look at the Notre Dame-Louisville game. Leonard was 17 of 23 for 163 yards and 2 scores. However, the issue I have with this is that you had a touchdown for Jaden Greathouse that was for 34 yards, and he was wide open. Now, I get it. You don't want to miss it. But Riley's got to understand, and Milroe understands this beautifully when he throws a deep ball. He gives his guys an opportunity. Jaden Greathouse didn't need an opportunity. He just needed it there. And if this would have been a much more effective defense or a faster defense, Jaden Greathouse would have got caught because he left it short. You can't leave that kind of play. And that was a brilliant, absolutely brilliant play designed by Denbrock. It was beautifully designed. You had all of these guys going here, and then Greathouse he's just moseying along up the hash, so to speak. And Louisville kind of fell asleep. And there he was right there. But looking here, the running game was not going to get going. And I thought Denbrock had a pretty good game plan based upon what Louisville was giving him. He did a great job swinging the balls out to Jeremiah Love, who had 5 grabs, 27 yards, and a touchdown, including that beautiful screen pass that was just absolutely well-timed. Well-timed. I mean, and the thing that is most surprising about it is that we're using more screens. And I think with the athletes in Love, and of course, Jadarian Price did not have another carry, I don't think, after he put the ball on the ground. It's kind of like one of those where it's, okay, you put the ball on the ground. And this is where I can't blame him. The guy made a great play, and he punched it out, and then it was a rainy day. So I was not a huge fan of that decision. Riley Leonard finished with 52 yards and a touchdown. And then you have Jeremiah Love had 34 yards and a touchdown. Love also, as I said, had that 32-yard screen pass that went for 6. So he was a fantasy gem yesterday, to say to speak. But the issue that I have for the most part with the way we're playing is the elite teams understand what Notre Dame football wants to do and what the game plan is. At what point do we stop trying to hold everything in and say, oh, we're just going to get away with winning the... Look, there's only going to be so many times when you can do this. Alabama and Georgia understand that. They understand that. And if you come out here playing not to lose, that's exactly what you're going to do. At some point, Riley Leonard's going to have to turn it loose. You have to get him comfortable with turning it loose. Because teams are going to sit right there and they're going to look at what Louisville did. They're going to model it the same way. I don't care how good your offensive line is. And this is just like I see people in chat rooms talking about Notre Dame's offensive line is not what it's accustomed to being. They're young for one. And considering what they're doing and what they're up against, I think they're doing a phenomenal job. The problem is the coaching has to help. You have to do the one thing that you did more of, and I was grateful they did. They rolled Riley out more. But quickly, Louisville adjusted. And unfortunately, when you get a defense that's as intelligent as the Louisville Cardinals defense is, they make adjustments. There's nothing you can do about that except adjust even better. You have to adjust more efficiently. Do I think Denbrock did a good job of that? No, I don't. I don't think he did a good job of that because, look, 7 points in the fourth quarter. You once again put it on the shoulders of your defense. Maybe not for a whole football game, but when you score 31 points and you had 24 at halftime, that's not where you want to be. I'm going to say that I'm enjoying what I'm seeing as far as the better blocking to get to the edge. We already knew that Louisville had a very fast defense. However, I think Notre Dame and Denbrock had a great game plan in saying, hey, look, we're going to seal the edge either with a tight end or our receivers, and we're going to get the corner. Did a great job of that. But the issue at hand is it goes right back to what I was saying about Georgia. Do you think you're going to get Williams out of Alabama in a recruiting war with Bama? And the answer to that question is no. And this is what I'll say to Marcus Freeman and even Knight Denbrock. How are you going to recruit wide receivers if you don't ever throw them the football? Interesting question, isn't it? You don't throw the ball enough. Bo Collins did not transfer from Clemson so he could just not show off what he can do. Part of what makes a great quarterback is saying, hey, I'm going to give my game breakers an opportunity. Give them an opportunity to have a big game. Let them exploit mismatches. Listen, Louisville, how many times did we see Tyler Shue throw the thing up for some guys? I mean, I got tired of hearing Ja'Cory Brooks and Colin Lacey's name, whether they caught it or not. These guys are players that I really enjoy watching go against us. I mean, look, Ja'Cory Brooks had 5 catches, 71 yards, 2 touchdowns. Colin Lacey, 571. How can you encourage wide receivers to come to this program where you got totals like 4 catches, 61 yards, 1 catch, 34, 5 catches? Nope, not even that. 2 for 17. Even Mitchell Evans, the guy that the NFL is ready for, 3 for 14. This is not what my idea of a balanced offense is. Because the truth of the matter is, you look at the way Alabama and Georgia play, both of them. Even when Georgia was getting their brakes beat off of them, they still mixed in the run. See, the problem with Notre Dame's coaching has been when we get behind, we just throw. But moving along, no, we didn't have a 100-yard rusher. Heck, as a team, we barely had over 100 yards rushing. And see, this is why this game was so close, you guys. The turnovers. The defense had us a large share of turnovers. And the reality of it is, when you get turnovers and you win by a slim margin, it does make everybody question is just how good is that Louisville team or just how bad that Notre Dame team is. And then you'll have those that say that defense must be pretty darn good to force that many turnovers. Some of us, you just go brain dead and you forget exactly what's going on. Now, here's the reality. Do I think that the Fighting Irish played a complete game in this one? Almost. But they disappeared in the second half. So you played a really good half of football. Now, I will say this. Do I think the defense played better? Of course. I do think the defense played better. They were very much aggressive, and they made some plays. Now, I will say this, that we've got to get the special teams correct because this is the second week in a row we've had problems on special teams. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from Riley Leonard. You know, he was 17-23, 163 yards, 2 scores. But the truth of the matter is some of these are going to have to be shots. I'm going to tell you, if you want to scare a defense, be the quarterback that has a reputation for throwing it deep. Because much to Alabama's surprise, Georgia played out of the box a lot because they were scared of Williams. If you have some guys that are burners, you have to give them the ability or the opportunity to showcase what they can do. And they've given this 17-year-old kid the platform, and he is just burning it to the ground right now, you guys. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. How are we going to know what we got at wide receiver if we don't ever test it? Too many times we are not testing guys deep, especially when it's one-on-one. You're trying to tell me that you think that Louisville's got a guy out there that can cover one of our specially recruited players? You gotta believe it to see it. Now, looking at the Notre Dame defense, probably the one element that people were glad to see return was the guy that everybody was calling out, Riley Mills, who had 4 tackles and a half sack. One thing I can say is that they got after the quarterback, and not to mention the guy whom the winner of the Bronco Nagurski Award had him another one, had another interception, even though it was one of those ones where he blop, he dropped it and it fell right into Watts' hands. He still made the play and took it back 34 yards. He just has a knack for being around the ball. Jaden Osbury had 5 tackles on the day. And what I really liked was Riley Mills as well as Howard Cross III really showed up big time in this game. We're going to need them down the stretch. They're going to have to get stronger and more focused because we're going to need them going down the stretch. Because right now, we haven't hit the heaviest part of our heaviest part of our schedule. We've got Georgia Tech. Now, as far as the toughest games, more than likely those are behind us. But the reality of it is we still have a season to play. We can't let what Northern Illinois do to us happen yet again. And Georgia Tech's not a team you can play around with. They're going to run pretty much the same type of offense that we run. The difference is they know how to get after the quarterback just as effective as we do. And this is not going to be one of those games where Riley Leonard is going to be allowed to run the football. I hope they understand this. But looking at the defense, you got Leonard Moore, 7 tackles on the night. Jordan Clark had another great game, 5 tackles. Benjamin Morrison surprisingly had 5 tackles, which is surprising because they actually threw the ball. Marcus Freeman, they actually threw the ball. Then you had Ron Hurd, Jaden Osbury had 4 tackles. Jack Kaiser had 3 tackles. Adonis Schuler, Bryce Young, Kingston Vialamuasa had a great game, had a sack in the game, as well as Riley Mills. And then you got JT had a half a sack. Jalen Sneed had a half a sack from his Viper position, which and as I said, this kid is so quick. I hope he gets more opportunities. I think they even sent a Benjamin Morrison on a blitz. And this is what I love about Al Golden's defense is you never know where this blitz is coming from. And it's exciting when you get a cornerback that's got interception potential, because at the next level, what it shows the NFL is that this guy is a blitz guy. And I can tell you right now, a team that loves blitzing corners, the Baltimore Ravens. But as I said, you're looking at got to mention Boubacar Traore, because this is a guy that he is just always around the ball. He didn't have a lot of tackles in this game, but he was that good. But as I said, ladies and gentlemen, the Irish have a long way to go before we're championship contenders. This is a game right here that the Irish had a chance to put away early. Mistakes. Now, granted, the defense did what they did. We've got to get special teams cleaned up. However, looking at what I saw Saturday night and then looking back at what Notre Dame has, if we reach our potential, there's a huge chance that Notre Dame can make that Final Four.
Bruh, stop the cap.
That's not capping. Not capping. There is a huge chance that Notre Dame can make that Final Four. If Marcus Freeman is okay with saying, hey, look, we're going to be a team that's like the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to run it, throw it deep. Run it, throw it deep. If they can go about doing that, I love our chances at being in this and being up there to have a shot at hoisting the brand new trophy. But in conclusion, guys, the truth of the matter is that this was a really big win. Guys like me are not we're not dissatisfied with the win. I want Notre Dame fans to see this. It's not that we're dissatisfied, but we understand what the bar is to win a national championship. There are so many of you that are okay with just being above mediocrity. I'm not. I literally think like a champion. I don't just talk like a champion. I think like one. So if you're not going to think like one, then what's the point in playing the games? I'm just asking. So many people say it's not all about winning and losing, so what's the point in playing? Notre Dame 31, Louisville 24. The Irish are off next week. And as of right now, we got some things to clean up, some things to possibly put in, as well as hopefully seeing if maybe a few guys come back. But as I said, guys, hit me down in the comments. If you are a new subscriber, please comment down there and let me know what your name is, because I want to be able to get you into the Talk Like a Champion family. Also, visit us at Facebook. You'll see the type of polls that I have on the show that will be related to the show. Also, go to my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo to see the other shows that I'm involved in. But that's going to wrap it up for us, you guys. As I said, my heart goes out to any of you that were affected by Hurricane Helene. And if you guys are in need of prayers, I am definitely there with you. But until the next time, you guys. But until we meet again, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun rise warm upon your face. May the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.